Excellent. Well, welcome you guys to our Flow into Money webinar. How exciting is this? I'm stoked anyway. All right. So let me just make sure that I can see everything. La 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 la. Let me put your beautiful faces over there. And Chrome. All right, that's the window you guys are seeing. And then hopefully, there we go. There's the little participants box. There we go. And then that way I can see if anyone jumps in. Perfect. Loving the arranging the screens portion of the day. All right. So welcome you guys to Flow into Money. I'm so excited to do this course. I have to fully admit that I went like complete nerd. I had such a ball putting this together. I've spent 10 years coaching. I've done business coaching for 6 years. I've coached thousands of people business coaching, and I've gotten the pleasure to work with a lot of female menstruating entrepreneurs in that time. You know, I did work with men and women postmenopausal and those kinds of things, but I got to work with a lot of menstruating entrepreneurs, and I saw some of the same things happen over and over and over again with their money. And I did a little bit of research, and there is a little bit of research through all of this, but the things that I saw happening and how they overlaid with the cycle so perfectly was just like, oh God, why don't we ever learn this stuff? Like, we don't learn about money. We don't learn about periods. So this is kind of exciting to be able to like bring this all of this home in such a fun topic and such an important topic too. You know, I truly believe that the more money in the hands of women, the better off the world will be. And there is a study that actually supports that. So more money in the hands of women, the better off the world will be. And there is actual studies to support that. So there we go. All right. So let me know if you want to post it in the chat box. Let me know where you are. Love to hear that kind of thing. And for those of you who don't know me, just a real quick, I'm Stasha. I'm the period coach. I'm the founder of Period Coaching School. I am Period Coaching School. I am the author of The Revolution Will Be Bloody, as well as Enter the Red Circle charting book, as well as Your Business, Your Flow, where we learn to run our businesses with our cycles. Just launched the world's first period oracle deck, a menstrual cycle guide. So we're just actually going to be mailing these out to the Kickstarter backers first. And I do have a couple extra boxes. So if you didn't get into the Kickstarter and you want to know more, send me an email, Stasha at the Period Coach at the end. So I love creating things. I love making new things. I am a visual creator person. Even my archetypes is a visual creator. So I love making new things and putting pieces of the puzzle together. I'm an INTJ. I love to weave all of the pieces of the puzzle together. I am #nerd. Oh, Toronto, Canada, San Diego, love it. Love to see it. Yeah, so big #nerd over here for sure. Before 2020, well, even at the very beginning of 2020, I was speaking. So I used to travel all over the world and speak. I got to travel to Fiji, February of 2020. We remember what that blissful month was like. And I got to do a keynote speech alongside Elizabeth Gilbert at a retreat in Fiji. So I know everything from red tents in the Australian outback to renting out an entire island in Fiji for a week. So I've definitely had a lot of fun doing all of this, and I love it. And all of this is the culmination of working with my cycle. I have endometriosis. It is a chronic fatigue, chronic pain condition. I've had it since I was a teenager. Pretty much my first period was painful, and that never stopped. So I was left to my own devices. You know, and medicine had nothing to offer me. They put me on birth control pills, experimental medications, crazy narcotics in high school to help to try and ease the pain, but actually none of it worked. And I was on these experimental birth control pills and narcotics, and I was a teenager, and it didn't help. So I basically got tossed out into the world to just fend for myself with a debilitating chronic pain and fatigue illness. So I really had a very unique life. I traveled, I searched for answers, I've tried everything. I love when I when I post sometimes and I'll share about it and somebody will be like, "Oh, you should try this." I'm like, "I did in 1998. No, I tried that in 2001. So I have tried them all. And it turns out that really is a combo effect of things, and discovering that and then being able to share all of the stuff that I learned along the way that didn't work for me, but works for other people has been just blissful. There was a period of time where I realized I can help other people, even if I can't quite figure it out for myself. Spoiler alert, I did figure it out for myself, but there was this beautiful period of time where I just was like, you know what, if I can't do it for me, at least I can help others. At least I can spare other women the pain or the fatigue or the drama that I went through trying to figure all this out. So it's been my passion since basically being a teenager, and I love it. So enough about me. All right. So today we're going to go over money mindset, money ebb and flow, and sales and flow. Those are my big three things. I thought that, when I sat down to make this class, I had so many ideas, and I thought these are probably the three that are going to give you the most immediate use and the biggest impact. So I thought I would go with these three. And then, of course, I'm going to invite you into a money class at the end of this. Spoiler alert, it's $27. So don't stress out. It's not a big deal. But I just couldn't cram everything into an hour that I wanted to share with you. And I thought, all right, we're going to have to put a little mini masterclass course together at the end of this, and we'll keep it super low cost because there's just too much and I want to share it all. So we're going to do that. And then if you have any questions, we'll do that. And if anybody is still hanging around at the end, we'll do a digital copy of the Revolution book, because there's a whole section on money in there. And I thought, what a great little gift at the end of this. All right. So the first thing about mindset is to realize it's not about you. I think one of the biggest hangups that we as women have around money and mindset issues is that we're thinking of it from this perspective of I don't know. I don't want it to benefit me. That's selfish. That's greedy. That's insert negative, thing about women here. So I thought, let's talk first about the fact that it's for your clients. Your mindset around money makes a difference to your clients, because if you're having mindset wobbles around money, then you're not enrolling clients, which means you're not helping the people that you should be helping, right? And you have ideas, gifts, support, things that you could be sharing with people, but you have to be able to get clients to do that. You can't give everything away for free unless you're independently wealthy, in which case you're not here. So you need to make money, right? You need to be able to pay the rent or buy the house or put food on the table, whatever those things are. And that means signing clients, making money. And if you cannot do that, you cannot help those people that could be helped by you. So our clients desperately need the information that you have to give them. They need you to get over the mindset blocks around money. And menstrual cycles, right? A lot of us have clients with menstrual cycles. And if we're not helping them get over the blocks about menstrual cycles, then they're not going to get all the way with whatever it is we're teaching them. It doesn't have to be about periods necessarily, but no matter what we're teaching them, we're not helping them get over these internal blocks that are so deeply embedded in our self-worth and value. We're not really helping our clients, right? So big mindset thing. If you get the wobbles, just think about those clients that need you. They need you, and they need you to move through these blocks, right? Our business, right? Our business needs us to make money. Our business needs us to have an income. It needs to be able to pay people to do things that we are not so good at ourselves. Maybe it's paying somebody to make graphics. Maybe it's paying somebody to set up a website. Maybe it's paying somebody to handle the emails. Maybe it's somebody to write copy. Wherever you feel like your weakest link is, the best thing you can do for your business is outsource your weakest link, and you need to make money to do that, to have that business moving forward. I know very successful businesses that have no full-time employees, but they do have as needed people that they reach out to. I have a person who does my website and my graphics, right? So Julie Gibbons made the crest, the coat of arms for Period Coaching School, which is on all of my graduation certificates to all my students, and they get a postcard as well. That's the postcard they get when they join. And she's my website designer. So if you watched the Period Coaching Summit at the beginning of the year, or in the next however many years we do this, you'll see Julie's work there. Will I need another website someday, or will I need a refresh or something? Maybe. Will I call Julie? Yes, I will, because I love her and I love her work. So, you have people that you want to work with that you don't need to have all the time, but you're going to need to step up at some point, and it's going to be outside your zone of genius. So your business needs you to make money. To really thrive, to really work well, to keep you from burning out, your business needs you to make money, right? And again, your clients need your business. So business and clients, very interconnected. Your community needs you to make money as well. So research shows that women are more likely than men to buy things that set their families on a pathway out of poverty, like nutritious food, healthcare, and education. One of the most astonishing statistics I've seen is that when a mother has control over her family's money, her children are 20% more likely to survive. Okay, I wrote that down specifically because I just wanted to make sure I had those numbers right. So your community needs you to make money, and it needs you to make more money. So making more money actually is beneficial to not just your family, but your community. Helping other women make money, which is what's driving me here, helps other communities, which helps other families, right? So we get all that expanding out. So menstrual education, money education, these things hand in hand benefit our communities. And then of course, the world, right? It just expands right out into the world. So if you grew up with, family or friends that had money issues, which we will get into in a minute, it's time to start thinking in that, microcosm of your clients need you, your business needs you, and then a bit bigger, your community needs you, and then of course the world needs you. So we need to bring all of these things, and this is how we make generational change, right? When we have generational wealth, this is something that's talked about a lot in systemic racism. Generational wealth is how people make those giant businesses, those huge contracts, those billionaires. Generational wealth, right? The world's richest man did not do that on his own. He actually had his dad had an emerald business in Africa, literally built generational wealth off of racism and slavery. So we have to stop looking at these like billionaire dudes who claim to be self-made and go, you know what? No, that's not who I'm aspiring to be. I'm aspiring to be something way better than that. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with having the aspiration of being a billionaire. Absolutely. 100%. We need some women billionaires out there. But my guess is that women billionaires, by and large, would give away money and not be a billionaire for long. And we have seen that actually with wealthy women when I forget her name, the wife of Jeff Bezos, when they divorced, she got half, and she immediately set up charities, funds, things like that. She gave away a ton of money right out of the gate. So we see that difference right there. So feel free to chat in the chat box or do a little journaling here. First thing we need to talk about is, how do you feel about money? It's a big question, and it can feel like, money is a big scam. It's not even real. This is all BS capitalism. It's the worst. Women are statistically the most happy in socialist countries. They don't have to worry about feeding themselves, their kids, their families, clothing, housing, like all of that stress of just, making sure that you, your family, your children are okay is gone. So statistically, women are more happy in socialist countries. So I get that. Like, I can get how we can feel really kind of down on money. And some of us feel like money is our best friend. It supports us. It brings us what we need. It gives us what we want. It brings us abundance and wealth and generosity. And we can be more generous and abundant when we have lots of money to do that with, and we feel really good about it. And, at the end of the day, we live in capitalist countries. And while we may want to make some changes on that, it is the paradigm that we're living in. And I don't want to see that fact stopping anybody, right? I love money, deposits, and being able to pay for things beyond basics for my soul, arts, education, etc. Exactly. Right. So, and the beautiful thing about being a woman is that we can hold two simultaneous contradictive thoughts and emotions in our body at the same time, and they can both be true. You can both hate it and love it at the same time, because you are a multitasker. You are a woman. You have the capacity. And at the end of the day, if we got rid of money, it would be something else, right? Like we could say tomorrow, money is meaningless. Oak leaves are the revered currency. And we would just, whoever has the biggest plot of land with oak trees on it would be our new billionaire, like there's always going to be some kind of exchange, whether it's bartering sparkly things, gold, diamond, jewelry, right? Like there's always going to be some sort of currency of some sort, some kind of trade. So I want you to do an experiment, and this is not something that you're going to be able to do right now, but I want you to write this down, and then, maybe grab a buddy. Maybe there's somebody here that you want a buddy with, a friend, something like that. If you're in any of my programs, post in any of our Facebook groups and, see if anyone wants to do this buddy work with you around money. What you're going to do is, or maybe even your partner, right? Like maybe your spouse or best friend or somebody. So write down how you feel about money, as if money was an entity. Like, dear money, I love it when you come and support me, but I feel really betrayed sometimes because I expect you to be there and then you don't follow through. Or I love how much support you give me. I'm able to do all of my soul fulfilling things that I love to do. So whatever it is, it doesn't have to be short and sweet. It can be a bit of a paragraph there, but write down a letter to money, basically. Now, this in and of itself is something that you can do on your own. The fun part is when you read it to somebody and say, I want you to pretend that you're money and I'm going to read you my letter. And then you're going to ask that person to say, how did it feel when I read my letter to you? Like, as money, how did it feel when I shared this with you? And I'm going to tell you, the first time that I did this exercise, I had just started out in coaching. I was maybe 2 years in. I think my first year of coaching, I made $12,000. I think my second year of coaching, I made $16,000. Don't quote me on those numbers, but they were not high. They were certainly not livable wages anywhere in this country, let alone Los Angeles. I obviously had other side gigs and hustling that I was doing, but the first time I did that, I had a lot of anger. And of course, the person who was my partner at this in this experience, I think it was Bill Barr. I think it was one of his Bill Barr, is that his name? Bill, I don't know. It was a very long time ago now, but the person I was partnering with was like, I don't really want to come hang out with you. I feel like you're really mad at me and you're really angry with me, and I don't really want to spend a lot of time with you because I feel like it's going to be really like mean. Very enlightening for me to hear. It does not invalidate how I felt at the time. None of this stuff invalidates your feelings. You are absolutely allowed to feel any way that you feel, all of the ways that you feel. But listen, and see if there's something that's stuck there. Like, how do I work through this anger? I can't be angry at money if I'm going to make money, if I'm going to have clients and charge them. So how do I resolve this relationship with money, right? So I've done a lot of work over the years to transform my relationship with money from one that felt very, angry and abusive to one that feels a lot more in alignment and flow and faith and trust and much healthier. So jot down, how do you feel about money? How do you feel about money right now? And of course, again, it's going to change. We'll talk about this in a minute. Oh goodness, Jackie, you're in the airport in San Francisco. Woo, girl. On the way to Thailand, I assume. That's gonna be quite the flight. All right. So then the next thing we have to talk about is childhood. What were the beliefs that you grew up feel around you? Just like romantic relationships, the relationship you saw your parents having is a big influence on how you view relationships, right? I saw two very happily married people who actually loved, supported, enjoyed each other, were teammates. They sat down and did taxes together. They sat down and budgeted together. And we were poor, but they were a team, right? So I saw mom sacrifice a job and house that she loved so that dad could make more money. I saw dad really work to get mom into a better position at work where she would enjoy it more. Like I really watched them support each other to make sure that they were both happy and making more income, getting out of the poverty cycle. So I watched two teammates really help support each other to bring in more money and get out of poverty. So I knew what a healthy relationship looked like, right? Whereas, a lot of my friends did not have that. I mean, I don't really know any of my friends that had a healthy family life. So, yeah. So I got to see that, which is again why I didn't have a partner for most of my life, because I would date somebody for a couple of years and go, God, you are not like that supportive partner that, I am sacrificing a lot in these relationships, but I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot of return. So I was single a lot. I loved being single, by the way. Being single was really great for me. So I had no complaints with it. But like you get that, idea of that. So what was money like in your house? What was the relationship with the money like in your house? Because this is going to influence your relationship with money now. I used to hate money. Now I understand it's an energy exchange. I trust money to flow and be there for me when I need it. Yeah, exactly. And I'm same, like that's Jackie, like you and me, same story. I used to hate it. I really just, ugh. I loved it when it was bartending because it would come in just giant chunks and waves of cash and it was fantastic. But then when I wasn't working with cash anymore, all of a sudden it was like, I can't make money. I don't know how to make money anymore. Like, I don't know how to deal with this like, digital. It's not real. I had envelopes for everything. I had a savings account. Like I had a really good relationship with money when it was physical and tactile. And when it turned into online, income, I was just like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Right. So it was a whole shakeup, a completely different new relationship. Got really angry with it because it wasn't like all of a sudden you're not here for me anymore. So yeah, right there with you, Jackie. And then this is something that Denise Duffield Thomas calls, I think it's like your family motto. But like, what were the things that your parents said about money when you were growing up? An honest family, money doesn't grow from trees. One I hate, which fortunately is not in my family, but an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. It is insulting at both ends. An honest day's pay is insinuating that you should take a modest income. For an honest day's work insinuates that you should be working very hard. So it's like screwing you coming and going. I hate that phrase so much. My house would often say, you can only make so much money before you have to become a registered Republican. So I obviously have an income threshold that my brain goes, oh God, if I make more than this, I turn into a Republican, which in my family was not a good word. We were very much, gay rights and marriage and Planned Parenthood was supportive and stuff. So we were always very, and we were poor. So we were very democratic forward in my household. So regardless of political affiliation, that was what I grew up hearing and me going, oh God, I need to stay poor so that I don't end up like an angry, bitter, old, greedy man, like sitting on a pile of coins, refusing to share or help people have clean drinking water in their towns. Stuff around it being finite. I've had to practice repeat that I can always make more money. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's one of the ones that DDT says, there's always more money. That's one of her sayings from Money Boot Camp. And I, in fact, have it as one of my watch backgrounds, because I thought, I don't know if you guys are even gonna be able to see this. This is probably me just wasting some time here. But anyway, I have a watch background that says there's always more money. That's a good one. Okay. So, what are your resistances to making more money? What's your family motto? What does your family say about money, and how does that impact your income? And how is it stopping you? So what are the blocks? What's stopping you from making more money? I can only make so much money before I have to turn into a greedy, self-centered person, right? That's what that insinuation meant in my family. Savings accounts are, for rich people. Investing is only for the wealthy, right? Like, what are those blocks that are stopping you from being able to do that kind of thing? Are you afraid to lose financial aid? Are you afraid to lose, a service of some sort that you get? In California, I had to keep my income under a certain threshold to keep my health insurance free. And then the leap from being able to have free health insurance in California to making money was like such a big leap that I was like, I would have to spend a couple of years without health insurance to reach that financial level where I could pay that insurance gap, right? So for me, it was definitely health insurance. Is there imposter syndrome, where like, you can't be a wealthy person. A wealthy person doesn't look like you. You are too fat, the wrong color, the wrong sexual orientation, right? I am chronic illness, right? Chronic pain illness, chronic fatigue illness. I have a disability, endometriosis. I am bisexual. I am like all of the only thing I'm a woman. The only thing I have going for me is that I am a white woman. That is the only thing. So like disabled, LGBT, woman, like, if you're here, you very likely are struggling with some of those. Like, this is not what a wealthy person looks like, because we have very, very few examples of wealthy women, right? Like Oprah, Ellen, like those are probably our only two really famous women that have a lot of money that made that money, didn't just inherit that money. Family motto: I can't afford it. Need to shift to abundance mindset instead of scarcity. I can't afford it, just not right now. What can I do to be able to afford it? Oh, those are good ones. Yeah, we have a family motto: if you don't need it if it's not on sale and you have a coupon. Like, it has to be on sale and you have to have a coupon. Not to say that I'm not an excellent sale bargain hunter. I do. I think there's something that's like the thrill of the hunt, finding like something that's just ridiculously on sale, or in a vintage shop or a thrift shop or something. I'm not going to take my fun away. But also, that can't stop you, because then you're not making investments either. Your business is not going to have on sale with a coupon investments, right? Like, you might be able to get an early bird price on something for your business. You might be able to buy a package for something for your business, but it's not going to be on sale with a coupon for your business. So how do you move your business forward with that family motto, right? That was one of those things that I had to get over big time. All right, so clearly our mindset matters, and we have to acknowledge the taboos. So we're dealing with not only the period taboo. Our periods are huge taboos. Menstrual cycles are huge taboos. It can be very uncomfortable to do menstrual cycle work. My period coaching school students are like the bravest people I know, because they're not only willing to have these conversations, but they're willing to go out into public and have these conversations. Just yesterday, some Twitter troll posted my Twitter and was like, this is the most disgusting account I've ever seen, because it says period coaching, right? And I got a picture of the revolution will be bloody and period coach as my title. And I just said, thank you for the free marketing. I always appreciate it when people give me publicity without me having to pay for it. But it is a taboo, and it can be scary out there to put something like this out there. And right. So even doing it just in and of yourself, it can be hard and scary. So we have to acknowledge that menstrual taboo. And money. Money is a taboo. It's just a taboo conversation in our world. We're not supposed to talk about money. It's not polite to ask people about their incomes. It's a fireable offense in some companies, even though legally they can't do that, but they do it anyway. So wrapping our periods and money together is going to trigger some big feelings or some numbness. You might, it's that fight, flight, or freeze. Like you might feel completely numb because that taboo is just put you in a place of freeze. It might feel very uncomfortable. It might feel very awkward. It might be exciting, right? If you're a maverick or a rebel or one of those people like to get in and just the system a little bit. It might be exciting to be like, ooh, I'm not going to just bash one taboo. I'm going to bash two today, right? And it might be awkward and uncomfortable and exciting all at the same time. So you have to, again, we're women, we're able to have more than one emotion in our bodies, even seemingly conflicting emotions in our bodies at the same time. So take a moment and feel like, if you feel awkward, if you feel uncomfortable, or if you feel excited. I just saw a rebel, #rebel. Oh yeah, from Shim. I guess I love taboos. Me too. I'm definitely I'm definitely like, no, I'm gonna like, it's my INTJ. I can do this better. No. I can figure this out. I can do it better and I can make it more efficient. Like I am an efficiency queen. And that's, I think, part of what I love about periods so much is because our menstrual cycle makes everything more efficient, even making money, even making sales, even going through money blocks, even going through mindset issues. Our menstrual cycle make everything more efficient. And I am the queen of making things the most efficient, have been since birth. Like that is just my thing. So it's great to challenge the mainstream mindset. Let's evolve. Yes, absolutely. We do need that evolution for sure. So, and if you're not stoked, if it feels awkward or hard, that's okay too. Like that's all part of the process. We have to get through all of that. So we're going to go real quick, cycle at a glance. I think most of you guys here are familiar with the menstrual cycle, but for anyone who's watching a recording, I don't know. So we're going to do a real quick journey through here. And there's way more, obviously, but I just enough to coordinate our cycles with our money so we can understand this. So this is kind of the feeling of the cycle. You're going to see new moon, winter, growing moon, spring, full moon, summer, and then these waning moons, autumn. Okay, so we're just going to deal with kind of the feeling of it right now for the moment. So menstrual is our new moon, is our winter, 5 to 7 days, baseline hormones, everything's kind of asleep. Follicular, we've got 7 days, rising estrogen, rising energy levels, moving brighter, the moon is starting to grow, springtime, the greens are starting to shoot, we're feeling a little more extroverted, right? We're coming out of the seed and out into the world. Ovulation, 3 days, short phase, peak summer, full moon, bright bloom, shining, beautiful flowers, big, Leo energy. Luteal. So this is post-ovulation where you might feel a lot of energy still, but it's like now you want to cook or clean or buy new pillows, nest. We'll talk about that buying thing. But you are starting to come a little bit more inward, right? So we still have a lot of energy, but it tends to be like, instead of doing, like live videos and pushing the business, it's like, oh, I need to scrub the kitchen floor. Like you still have energy, you still want to do things, you still want to accomplish things, but it turns more like inward into that nesting space. And then deep luteal, 4-ish days before your period. It's if you have PMS, which you will note is not a phase of the menstrual cycle here. But if you have PMS, it will rear its head. So it might be shorter or longer depending on your hormonal imbalances. I have a pretty long deep luteal phase because of the endometriosis, though it's just fatigue instead of pain these days. But around day 20, I usually feel, oh, okay, I'm starting to feel that wind down. By day 24, 25, I'm like, okay, it's time to do like the last of the batch cooking because I'm probably going to be in bed for the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 days, depending on when I get my period. So for me, it's a little bit longer than normal. For you, I'd love to see it being just like maybe a couple of days before your period where you're like, oh, I really don't want it rolled right now. I'm not going to extrovert. I'm going to just kick it, chill, do some inner work, some shadow work, get ready for my menstrual phase, put the red sheets on the bed, get out the red robe, maybe the red pajamas, those kinds of things. I also want to just mention that PMS is the easiest thing to fix. So if you have PMS symptoms, which is 200 plus of, sore boobs, bloating, gas, brain fog, headaches, migraines, fatigue, those kinds of things, mood swings, energy, fatigue, that kind of thing. The easiest thing in the world to fix is PMS. It's a lovely, easy problem that has a lovely solution. So I want to just make sure that, there's a lot of hope out there, especially if you have PMS symptoms, because it is very easy. And no matter what kind of coaching you do, no matter what kind of business you run, if you have menstrual clients and they're showing some PMS signs, you can actually help balance them. You don't have to be a health coach. You can actually help bring them back into balance no matter what kind of coaching you do, because the way that you work with them will help bring some balance to those hormones. It's so easy. I love efficiency, right? So every single day you're in a phase of your menstrual cycle. See, there's no gap days here. So for 40 years-ish, every day there's a hormonal shift at work in your body. You're either working with it or you're working against it, but there is no real in between here. So if you recognize these phases and you can kind of recognize how they feel, that I love that. Maybe you can even start to see them in like your friends or your clients. Have you noticed some of those shifts in your friends and your clients or in yourself? I'd love to hear and let me know. I see a yes in the chat box. Excellent. So let's talk about our money ebb and flow. It turns out that spending our money along with making our money goes with cycles. So when we recognize these changes in our cycles, in our body, in our energy, in our mindset, in our mood, all that stuff, we have so much more understanding of what's going on, right? We can go, okay, tomorrow, I'm very likely going to wake up and be a little annoyed at everything because I'm, day 21, and somewhere around day 22 to 24, I generally start to get annoyed by things that is no one's fault. It's just, I start to get a little short in the world. But I know it's coming. And I can say, hey, babe, I am at about that place in my cycle where I'm just going to be pissy about things and I'm super sorry. And he can ignore me because he knows it's not really like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form yelling at him or judging him or anything. I am frustrated and tired. And that's just where my hormones have shifted to, right? So it's a lot easier to accept yourself and understand it. Over the years of doing that, I am very, I still have that feeling, but it's so easy to go, oh, well, I know what's coming and I know what's going to happen. And then to recognize that feeling in myself. And instead of blowing up, which is what I used to do, I could just go, oh, yeah, well, it's day 23. Of course I am annoyed with the world right now. Like, stop reading the news. It's news hiatus time. Like, we just stop now. So, or whatever it is for you. Like, I need a break from the crazy. And then the same thing is going to happen with our money, right? So our money will have that ebb and flow. It will happen with our cycle, the way we spend, all that kind of stuff is going to happen as well. And when we have those ebb and flow, things like tapping, EFT, like, even though I feel like money hates me right now and I'm day 23, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I know that it's not money that hates me, I just feel like this because it's day 24 and I'm deeply luteal and I think everything is out to get me. I deeply and completely love and accept myself, right? So even just a little bit of tapping to just sort of move that emotion, acknowledge it, witness it, understand it, and kind of flush it out can make a huge difference. And sometimes I'm out and about and I can't really like tap, but even just thinking on the tapping points has shown to make a difference. So they did a study on just people who couldn't do it, but just thought through the tapping sequences and thought, like, I know that I'm just annoyed at money right now because I'm in deep luteal, and it's not that I'm so much annoyed at money. I'm just annoyed and I'm annoyed at money because that's an easy scapegoat for me today. But just thinking it through has that same nervous system calming effect. So have a play in those ebb times with tapping in your cycle. So two big factors for the ebb. Surveys from 443 females aged 18 to 50 reported their spending. Women in their luteal phase were significantly less controlled and more impulsive than women earlier in their cycle. A significant correlation was found overspending, lack of control, and buyer's remorse. Now, you're going to see the overspending thing again in the cycle. Sorry. But the key to the luteal phase is that buyer's remorse. And this is something that I see in my clients a lot. And this is something they've seen in a lot of business clients, is that like, oh, I bought 3 programs last night and I really like, when am I going to do them? I don't have time to do these. I don't know why I did that. Or, oh, I bought 10 new throw pillows for the couch. And did we need 10 new throw pillows? No, we did not. Right. So you see those kinds of regretful, remorsive spending in your luteal phase. So if you're prone to spending sprees, it's likely that it's during your luteal phase. So it's more like lots of different charges instead of like one big one. Often in luteal, you'll see like pair of shoes, ice cream, a new duvet, 10 new pillows, and 3 new business courses. Maybe they're not all big spends, $10 here, $20 there, $100 there, $9.97 there. Like, nothing's over 1,000, but when you add it all up, it is, right? So this is very much your luteal phase, and you can't really throw your credit card in the freezer anymore because that's not going to stop anyone these days with all of our credit cards being on our computers and everything. So I recommend planning ahead. So this is what I do. This is how I both indulge my luteal phase desire to spend, but I do it strategically. So I'm going to use the example of the house because we just bought a house, and I've lived out of a storage unit for 6 years, a like 5 foot by 5 foot tiny storage unit. So I had a giant kitchen dining room table that's gorgeous and could flatten out, and a hutch. That was basically it. I had an old desk and an old desk chair. So what I would do is every month in follicular, I would strategize what is something that would be the best investment for the house and is going to be on sale right now, so I looked through, like the first thing we needed was chairs. Like there's no place to sit. So I thought, okay, well, we need chairs. Let me see what kind of chairs are even on sale right now. And there were lovely chairs that were on sale. So it was like, okay, perfect. We needed a couch. And there was this beautiful blue velvet couch. I was like, this is going to be perfect because I can film videos, which you guys are going to see in the money class that I will give you the link to at the end that you can buy. I haven't done the filming yet, but I'm going to film some of those on that couch. Just kick back and relax because big, beautiful blue velvet couch, right? So, but I waited until I was in luteal and I had that like, oh gosh, I want to go buy stuff and nest for the house. So I picked things out. I put them in the cart. I found some coupons even. Yes, I have a web browser extension with coupons. Found some coupons, got it, free shipping and a couple discounts. And I bought, actually bought that couch. I bought a bed. We needed a bed desperately. I bought a bed. So found a bed frame on sale. So I started strategically, and I just do this every month where I was like, okay, these are the things that I'm going to buy. These are the sales that I have found, and I will enjoy buying them in my luteal phase when it just feels so good to do. And I'm going to buy something anyway. So I might as well strategically wait and do that. So this is my recommendation for the luteal phase shopping spree. Plan it out in follicular, get real strategic about it, make sure it fits you, whatever it is. And then the second part of the ebb is mindset plummets. So our testosterone drops after ovulation, and with our testosterone dropping, our confidence drops. It's just sort of how that goes, unfortunately. But when you know that, it's a lot easier to go, oh, well, that's not me being a loser. It's just my confidence is dropping a little bit because my testosterone dropped. I'm not a loser. I just had a hormonal shift, right? So it's a lot easier to switch that mindset when you understand it. So it does make us a bit more pessimistic. It makes us a little bit more wobbly and shaky, which is probably why we're susceptible to like buying all those business programs in luteal that we may not necessarily need. You may need them. They may come out really handy, but you may not, like you buy the Instagram reel program, but you have never posted on Instagram ever in your life. Like maybe just start posting on Instagram, right? It's just those little things. It's like, it's probably a little phase purchase. So we also don't have faith in ourselves. Like we tend to buy that like Instagram course because this is the phase where we just don't have faith in ourselves that we can figure out how to make a post on Instagram, whereas like if you waited one more week, you'd be like, oh, this is super easy. I can totally do this, or like I can message one of my friends. Like I don't need to buy a program on this. So we panic, we get into a money panic, we get into anxiety spike, we get stressed, we get desperate, sales plummet because nobody buys from desperation. So you find yourself having these emotional ebbs. We don't do sales in this phase until you've learned this phase. This is one of the things that I like to remind my clients of is if you are in luteal and you haven't worked out your luteal phase so that you're feeling deep and intuitive and masterful and like in your full witchy, womany vibe self, this is not your sales phase. Just block off your calendar to sales calls during this phase until you've like really mastered embracing the luteal, maybe done some hormonal balance work and feeling like really into it. You can do sales in every phase, and we're going to talk about that in the sales section, but you don't have to. So if this is a wobbly phase for you, don't do sales in this phase. You don't have to. It's your calendar. It's your business, right? So then there's the flow, right? So in follicular, our testosterone starts to rise and ovulation, it spikes. So that confidence, flip side of the coin, peaks here. And this is where that confidence is really great for like doing sales and stuff because you get that boost of confidence. You're not feeling desperate. You're not feeling wobbly. You're not getting a little scared, but you're definitely feeling much better. So your sales are going to be better in this phase. You got a little more confident. And if you tap into the why questions, which we'll talk about in a minute of your menstrual phase, then you have a really deep purpose in this phase. So like coupling that deep purpose with that big confidence boost in this phase is really nice. But that confidence rising is going to help you flow, which is probably why this is the phase where we tend to make big financial leaps. So we do have this other impulsive spot in our cycle where we impulse spend or buy, but in this phase, that impulse spend might be thousands of dollars instead of lots of little things because that confidence. So it's like, oh yeah, I can definitely do the $10,000 program. Done. Sign me up. Even though you're making $1,000 a month in your business and you don't even make $10,000 in a year, right? Like this is where sometimes it's that scary time. But this again, there's a strategy to using this to your advantage. So if you know that you're prone to making big financial leaps in ovulation, if you've seen this pattern in your life, and sometimes you need to make a big investment in your my school, in your business. So sometimes you have to make a big investment in your business. Sometimes you do need to, pay to play, right? Like I joined a program recently because I need more JV partners. I need to speak on more summits. I need to speak on more podcasts, and I need bigger partners. So I paid to get into a world of bigger joint venture partners. Sometimes you have to pay to play, right? So sometimes you need to make those calls. What I do is I think about them in luteal, but I don't buy them, right? So if I'm in luteal and something comes across my path like that, I'm going to automatically go, oh, that's too much money. I cannot spend that kind of money on my business. But boy, that would be really helpful for all these reasons. And then I'll wait until that confidence of ovulation comes through and I'll be like, let's do it. Right? So if you've thought it through, if you've used your cycle to make sure that this is a wise investment, you can use that bit of confidence boost to make some of those big leaps that you do need to make in business, right? So like some of you may join Period Coaching School because it's a bigger financial leap, but all of the information in Period Coaching School is going to not only elevate your business, but it's going to elevate your clients, your hormonal balance. You're not going to have to worry about burnout in your business ever again because you've got this new magic solution to things. You'll be much more efficient with your time. Like you may say, you know what, ovulation, confidence, this program is going to be a big leap that's going to help take my business to the next step. There's a million business coaches, relationship coaches, whatever your niche, insert your niche here in the world, but none of them do it with flow. None of them are teaching women how to do it with their menstrual cycle. None of them are helping their clients, right? Like you could be the tall poppy in your field. And that's that, using that little boost of confidence from that testosterone to actually improve your business. So again, you see these impulsive things. If you know why they're happening, it's easy to go, oh, this is happening because of this hormonal shift. Is this really true? Like, is this intuition telling me to do this? Is this hormones telling me to do this? And is this really actually a wise investment into my business? You can make those decisions much smarter, make those big leaps when you need to, freeze the credit card when you need to, that kind of thing. So we're going to take my WWHD system and apply it to sales. And this system, we go through in the school, we apply it to everything, but we're going to apply it to sales today for for purposes of what we're doing here. And this is 30 years of putting this information together. And this is seeing it work for the last 10 years with my clients. It's the system was born and it is simple and successful and you can apply it to everything. It's amazing. And it's called What Would Hermione Do? Every problem can be solved with WWHD, and that includes money problems. So like I said earlier, you can make this or you can use this to make investments. I'm not an investment person. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a doctor, right? Like I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I can help you make your own decision more confidently. So I've never met a problem that can't be solved with WWHD, and I've met a lot of problems. Oh, I probably purchased period coaching school and confidence boosting ovulation cycle. It was like, hell yeah, I can do anything. This is so good to know. Understanding why I don't have confidence in my luteal phase, my period is my superpower. Yes, 100%. And Jackie, you're going to love it. Do you have any tracking spreadsheets combining a type of purchase log with the day of your cycle and phase? Literally in the process of making one of those right now. So if you jump into the money program at the end or period coaching school, we're going to have that spreadsheet when we make it. We're working on it. We're trying to blend a couple of different, because I have like 3 different budgeting spreadsheets I have, and I've given them all to one of my assistants who's really good at like graphics and spreadsheets and like making things. So she's going to see if she can combine them all in a way that you would have a year spreadsheet in front of you where you can have your cycle, your income, your expenses, like all these kinds of different things. If we can make it where it's not like an overwhelmingly ridiculous thing. So anyway, we're working on it, and I will have it out to any of you guys who jump in to that when we get there. Okay. So each phase goes with a word. So let's talk about like setting yourself up for success. So let's say Hermione needs to up her sales conversion rate. So we're going to problem solve sales conversions, right? Increasing sales conversion rates. So in luteal, right here, this is your what phase. And this could be in deep luteal as well. You're going to have to feel out where your line is for this. Deep luteal is not my what phase. Deep luteal for me is nothing. Nothing is going to happen for me in deep luteal. So early luteal for me is my what phase, and then menstrual is my why phase, and deep luteal is just sit this one out and watch some like Charmed throwback shows and eat. Okay, so feel out what it is for you. But in luteal, she's gonna ask herself, what's going well in my sales calls? What's going wrong in my sales calls? What are the real numbers? Not just what you think or what you feel like they are, but what are they really? Because remember, deep luteal, confidence dip, your feeling about your numbers is not going to be the same as reality. Just like in ovulation, now your feeling may not be the same as reality. So like that double-edged sword there, right? What can we do to improve? What do we already have that could help? Business programs, buzz buddies, masterminds, memberships, these kinds of things. So Hermione is going to compile a list of resources that could help with her sales conversion. List any ideas that come to mind, maybe brainstorm, make a mind map. No judgment, it's just brainstorming. There are no bad ideas in the what phase. Then in menstrual, Hermione is going to kick back, go out, lay in the hammock, stare at the clouds. While she's doing that, she's going to wonder aloud, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this work? Why am I seeing this set of niche, these clients? Why do my clients say that they come to me? Why is making money important at all? Why is money helpful for me? Like all of these wise questions. She's going to journal some of those answers, maybe auto record, auto journal those answers. She's going to record those questions and answers. Okay. Just like what she compiled those lists, she's going to record the whys. In follicular, she's going to strategize. How can she improve these calls? How would those ideas from luteal, those what ideas, how would they work? How can she make sales calls more fun? How can she remember her whys before each call? Post-it note on the computer, notes on the top of her call form or spreadsheet, or however you do your calls, poster on the wall next to you. Why, how are you going to see these things? How are you going to remember them? And then ovulation you're going to do. So when you're first really attempting to hone your sales calls, my suggestion is follicular and ovulation, maybe even a little early luteal. This is your sales call window, right? You do sales calls these week to 2 weeks in your life. If you're just getting started out, you probably don't have a ton of sales calls. So it's really easy to go, okay, this is the week that I do sales calls. Not a big deal. When you get busier and you get more clients and you're better at doing sales calls and you have a better handle on your cycle, you can do calls in every single phase. And in the money program, we will talk about that. So we'll talk about how to do sales in each phase. But you're going to do your sales calls when you're most confident, right? So see how this can be used to solve problems. So this is, rather than throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying everything, feeling desperate over here and panicking and trying everything and breaking all of your systems, and then having to fix all of the systems that you broke over here, and now just feeling kind of crap about yourself and behind. And now even that like confidence boost is not really helping you with your hormones. You can actually problem solve, make really educated guesses. They're not all going to work. Not everything that you try is going to work. Not every opt-in, 75%, 90% of the opt-ins you make will fail. That's okay. That's just part of the process. You'll find one that clicks. That's part of it. So remember, Hermione was a very smart witch. And remember that our witchcraft and science are not mutually exclusive, and we can have the best of both worlds. And remember, we are very, very powerful. We're the granddaughters of witches that you were not able to burn. So you can be both logical, problem solving, and tap into the emotions and the feelings of money and sales and income generating and spending and all that stuff. Your business needs you to break through the taboos, dive into your body, dive into your cycle, dive into your money, and it's running the show. Your cycle is the thing running the show. So work with it, go with the ebb and flow, enjoy the ebb and flow, and wield the power of your cycle rather than fighting it. Wield it, use it, hone it. It's very much like, that whole idea of bringing in the energy and using it in a way that you direct it, right? You guide those sales conversations to help your client or to help your potential clients make a really good decision. And that's your power, is you have the ability to guide all of this, the energy, the conversation, the flow, and you can do it all with your cycle as that channel, that guide for you. So don't be afraid of it and use it. All right. So period coaching brings you the understanding of the menstrual cycles, right? So we need that powerful flow, those powerful changes in each phase of the flow, and the impact that it's going to have on your money, your business, your relationships, just everything, absolutely everything. And your hormones are going to hormone. That's just how it goes. You're working with it or you're working against it, and there's just no in between. But along with that, it also is going to bring profit. You can tap into the power of your period and you can make more money with it. It's a skill that very few coaches have, and it's a skill that very few coaches can teach their clients. So you can do anything from creating a VIP bio individual package that's in flow with your client's flow, to business programs or relationship programs or health coaching programs or life coaching programs or feng shui or any of these things with flow. And again, more money in the hands of women and minorities is a good thing, and you deserve to make money. There's absolutely no reason. And then passion. So, having the passion for your clients, for your business, for the world, that's really going to be that overlap there. So I am going to let you guys know that we are just getting started in period coaching school. The first module has just come out, but we don't really kick off until the beginning of September, and there are a few more spots available. So if you're here listening or on the recording listening and you're interested in period coaching school, you can still jump in. There's still a little bit of time. So period coaching school goes through all of the stuff. So we talk about the menstrual cycle, obviously, and all of the things that can go wrong with it, and all of the life stages that you flow through it, and everything from preteen, teen, all the way to perimenopause and menopause. So we talk about all of that stuff. Coaching, of course, how we're, doing the coaching and everything, marketing and sales, and then the business structure and system. So if you're interested in it, set up an application call with me. Just head to periodcoachingschool.com and you'll see an apply button in the top right corner. And I'm happy to have a chat to see if it's a good fit for you or not. But it is a bigger investment. I wanted to create this money and flow program because I figure if we're working on money, let's make it really cheap and really easy to start making some income, right? So you can see it work and you can have that income coming. So I created the Money and Flow course, and we're going to talk about the cycle basics in there, menstrual charting in there so you can track your cycle, know where you are, money mindset. So we'll talk a little bit more on that money mindset module. And I have a ton of things listed out already to help with tools for money mindset. We'll talk about money tracking. We'll put the charting, the mindset, and the money tracking all together and create healthy money habits. So we'll kind of take the first half and we'll see it all together in the healthy money habits module. Ebb and flow. So we'll talk about the ebb and flow again in there if you need a refresher. We'll talk about manifesting in flow. So how are you manifesting? Because it's not just money that we need to bring in. There is also other value in manifesting and flow, but also manifesting money. And then sales in every phase. So we'll talk through the sales through each and every phase. And like I said, the first two modules, cycle basic and menstrual charting, will be available as soon as you purchase. I do have to record the videos for the rest because it was just making this class that I realized, my goodness, I have so much more to say. I need to make this little program. So I haven't made them yet, but they will be coming out for you. And hey, for $27, if it takes me a couple of weeks to get the rest of those modules put together and out to you, not a big deal. You have lifetime access, right? So, and it's only $27. So head to periodcoachingschool.com/moneyandflow, and you can jump in and you'll get immediate access to the module, the first two modules, and then as we go, as they're recorded, I'll upload the rest of the modules for you. So you can work through them at your own pace, on your own time, and enjoy learning more about your money and your cycle and that relationship and put it all together. So fun. Thank you so much for jumping in. And I really just, thank you so much for jumping into doing this with me and having a blast. So if you're watching this recording, head on over to the Money and Flow course, jump into it. And I can't wait to see you in there. And for those of you that are here, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll do a little live giveaway for the people who have made it to the end. So thank you, everyone who's watching the recording. I really appreciate you being here with me, and head on over to periodcoachingschool.com/moneyandflow and jump into our money course and start putting your money and your cycle together for all of the magical money power. All right. Thank you so much.